Ubisoft is pulling out all the stops in an attempt to boost its sales for Star Wars Outlaws, which has been maligned for the past year or so due to its choosing a female protagonist to helm the game and then also making her ugly. Now we're seeing that the gameplay is absolutely terrible. Despite this, they are trying to get a bunch of influencers and YouTubers to praise the game. But as these YouTubers and influencers are praising the game, people with their eyes open can actually see how terrible the game is. And we've got a lot of clips showing just how bad it is. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Roll this up over at thatparkplace.com, and let's just jump into this here. Here is a clip that Grums shared. He took this from Fleekazoid's YouTube live stream where he was just absolutely obliterating this game. Let's take a look at this clip right here. You see that before, like right as she has her hands on the guy's head, look at this. He drops the gun. The guy drops his gun. The stormtrooper is dropping his gun while she has her hands on his head, instead of maybe using the gun to like slam into her chest, knock her off, he just drops it. Like, this is absolutely terrible. And then you can even see how the gun kind of like floats there, and then she just slams the guy into the head, uses his force to knock him unconscious. Obviously, I think there is the possibility that she could have done that given the fact that he's slamming his head into the ground, concussion, etc., head moving around in the helmet, all of that stuff definitely could be a significant blow there. But the fact that guy just drops the gun is utterly ridiculous and really just kind of drags you out of the immersion. Grums also said this here. I love how he doesn't even rear his head back to resist, and his legs go limp and spaghetti to enable his fall. Yeah, you can see kind of how his legs, let's watch his legs here. You can see they're already spaghetti, doesn't even try and stand his ground, and just easily able to toss him with the head. I'm sure people who do judo are going to be picking this apart very easily here, just how bad that is. Here's another one that Grums also shared. Again, this is from Fleekazoid as well. This one really shows how bad the AI is. I think this is some kind of Pike Syndicate or something like this. Dropping the weapon as soon as she touches this guy here. Let's take a look. Look at that. Yes, like, look, she hasn't even, like, she's barely touching his head, and the guy's already dropping the gun. And then look how he just drops the gun. Like, the physics are so bad. And then she slightly turns his head. I can't even tell. Okay, she's slightly, I don't even think her hand's even on his head anymore. So now she's spinning him around, and then she's going to punch him with the left hook. I mean, what? This little, like, 110-pound woman is left hooking this guy one punch, and you're out. I mean, these people clearly haven't watched any UFC fights. You don't usually go out in one punch like that. It usually takes a couple times to do that. Now, obviously, you can catch a guy. That's true, but clearly this is a game mechanic, and the fact that he just drops the weapon is just absolutely hilariously bad. Grums points this out. He says that gun drops with as much gravity and excitement as the entire game. Could it be any more floaty? And as we saw with the previous clip, this is clearly baked into the game's mechanics. It just looks awful. Mangaloyer here. This guy's been doing yeoman's work on finding clips from this game. Here is another one. I think this might be the worst one we've seen to date. This stormtrooper is literally going to walk up right in front of K-Vess and not see her until, like, he's on top of her. This is really, really bad. Let's take a look at this. Here he comes. Here he comes. Doesn't see her. Doesn't see her. Oh, he saw her there. He pulls his gun up. Doesn't fire. And then gets shot in the head. Still hasn't fired his gun. Oh, there he fired and he misses. He misses twice to the right as he backs off to the left. I mean, this is awful. How do you miss point blank? What are you doing? What are you doing here? What are you doing? Instead, Kay's like shooting the other guy behind him. This guy finally seems to start hitting her. It's just awful. And then here's another clip of K-Vess knocking out a speeder bike trooper with her bare hands. onto a helmet. It's just so utterly ridiculous, like unbelievable. But I just the stormtrooper is literally walks right up to her and does not see her whatsoever. And then she shoots him in the head in the helmet with hits him in the helmet and he still isn't firing. Like, what is this NPC doing? This is awful. Absolutely terrible stuff. And then obviously we've seen some of these others that I've covered in other videos, but if you want to watch them again, I'll have the link in the description below. But obviously, this one where the guy like literally does the Joe Biden and like, walks off stage, doesn't know where he's going, and like walks around like he's completely lost. It was so bad. And then this one is the stormtroopers literally. We can just watch this one. This is really quick. The stormtroopers are literally firing into the building. Kay Vess is like over here, and they're shooting off into this building. It's terrible. And then here's like the takedown where she's punching more stormtroopers in the head. And then this is again more people getting punched in the head. The creature, the pet creature, is running around like the secure facility, and the stormtroopers are like, "Oh, what is this little creature doing here?" It's like, no, dude, shoot it. Like, why is there a creature in here? Shoot and kill it. Like, what are you doing? That's what I would think the stormtroopers would be doing. Clearly not. It would make more sense if the stormtrooper just started shooting at the creature, and that could cause all kinds of mayhem because he starts shooting off at, like, controls and stuff. And I don't know, that could be a fun mechanic. Instead, they literally just have the stormtrooper like trying to shoo the pet around. And then obviously here's the one with the speeder bikes too. If you want to watch this one, where literally every time Kay runs into a immovable object, instead of maybe the physics actually working and she goes flying face first into the mountain, turning into like a bug on a windshield, she literally is shot up into the air, flails around, and then comes back down. And depending on how high she was shot up, she might take some damage, or she might not. It's just really, really bad. And this game is just absolutely terrible. And the more clips the more of these YouTube influencers are posting stuff of their gameplay from Star Wars Outlaws, the more clips we're seeing of just how terrible this game is. And it's absolutely hilarious that these guys, usually the voiceover is like talking about how great the game is. And then when you're actually watching them, what they're doing, it shows how terrible it actually is. So do your due diligence. Do not buy this game. It looks absolutely terrible. It's more Forces Female garbage. They literally are pushing the agenda by having Kay Vess as the main protagonist. They have talked about how they wanted her to be like a Han Solo type figure. And instead of giving us Han Solo, they gave us Kay Vess. That's right. So reject this game. Say no to it. Do not spend a dime on this. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys make of this in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always speak the truth.